Hello. 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 Yes, we should be working now. I gave up with this thing. Oh, what an absolute nightmare. Guys, I'm guessing we've probably lost about half of you, but if you could do me a massive favor, because this stream's going to end up just taking a big dive now. If you can do me a massive favor, please give this stream a big thumbs up again. I think we had like 100 likes on the last one, and this is just going to get it's not going to get recommended now, so not the best. But yeah, guys, do me a massive favor, just hit like if you have not already done so. I had an absolute nightmare there. I have no idea what actually happened. It was a bit annoying, the fact that I was just talking for like 4 minutes straight, going through the questions, and you couldn't hear a damn thing I was saying. Like I said, I have no idea what happened. I checked on the audio and it was displaying fine, but just not on the YouTube live stream for some reason, which, yeah, a bit of a strange one. I don't know if maybe YouTube are trying to silence me. I don't know. Yeah, guys, do me a massive favor. Do hit the thumbs up button. Where are we? Let me just do something a second. Again, if you have any questions that I may or may not have read out, do get them back down in the live chat. I don't know why I didn't use StreamYard to begin with, if I'm honest. Let's just get back in here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, guys, I can see 19 of you have hit that like button. With 28 of you all in here, please, let's get those likes up, hit the thumbs up button, and yeah, let's try and get back to how it was before, because yeah, a lot of you dropped out. Yeah, guys, hit that like button. I'm just going to fly through the comments real quick, and if you have any anything else to add, any comments, do not hesitate to ask. What are we doing with this? Just bear with me, I will not be long. Just trying to sort things out. Okay, that. Okay, should be all good now, I think. I can see the chat. Let's get back to it. Right, okay. Yes. No, still no audio. Yes, but no sound. Psych, it works. Yeah, I can hear. Yes, audio and pouring your heart out. Okay, and now that the stream is back, I can put these questions on the screen now, by the way. I was thinking, now the stream is back, we can get back on the E34 topic. Yeah, about that. How's the garden garage doing, should I say? Very well, actually. I don't know how much you saw of the previous stream. Well, the first half of this stream, you could say, but yeah, I've been working on it a hell of a lot, and yeah, the garden looks completely different now. It's definitely transformed, we shall say. It's in that period at the moment where it kind of looks quite a bit worse than when you started, because it's a bit of a mess, but you can really see things for how they are, and you can see things taking shape. But yeah, everything's going smoothly at the moment. I think it's when it comes to applying for planning permission, that's when things may get a little tense. What's good? I think you read my comment and never heard it. I've liked this one. Keep up that fantastic channel. Should I buy a 123D? Says Harry. Yeah, sorry if I read it and you couldn't hear a damn thing I was saying. Should you buy a 123D? If you want one, any particular reason why you want a 123D? I'm guessing you want a decent amount of power and you want good fuel economy. Am I right? Or am I right? Douglas says, you definitely have the most informative videos of N47 on YouTube. Gave me the confidence to buy a 320D and work on it, knowing that they are good engines when sorted. Yes, exactly that, Douglas. Do not be scared to own an N47. Just make sure that you maintain them properly, though. Can hear you now, George, but the mic doesn't seem great. It's like it's muffled or something. Yeah, I do apologize, Robbie. I am only using the microphone built into the webcam, so yeah, it's probably not that great. I do have this one. It is a decent quality one. It's a a stereo mic and all the rest of it, but it's yeah, it's I don't know what's going on with it. That look on your face was epic. I was watching Stretton on while he was on silent. What tires do you recommend for 5 Series E60? Stephen, that really depends on your budget. I always say buy the best tires you can afford. Tires are not something that you want to skimp out on. They are the only thing that makes contact to the road if you're driving properly in something that hasn't gone completely wrong. So yeah, buy the best tires you can afford. I pretty much run Michelin Pilot Sport 4 or Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires on all my cars, and yeah, they've never let me down. So yeah, just buy the best you can afford. Oh, quick point on that: stay away from run flat tires. Do not buy run flat tires. Just buy regular tires. Run flats, they're very, very harsh, and you don't need it. In the 5 Series, you have a spare wheel, so you don't need run flats. I don't understand how a car can walk across the field within 50. What? I don't understand that question. Sorry, Shamon. Sorry, I butchered your name. Are you back on now? Yes, Michael, I am. Just a slight technical difficulty. Like I said, guys, if you have not already done so, let's see if we can get back to the viewing figures that we had before. Do hit the thumbs up button. Give it a big old smash. Be greatly appreciated. Again, if you do want to show any additional support to the channel, there's an option to send a super chat or super sticker of your choice. Should be a $ button underneath the live chat. You can click that, send $1, $2, $358 million. It's up to you. But again, I'm not expecting any of you to do so, but the option is always there. Very true, says Zenki. Yes, very true. Are you going to do any holiday videos this year? Corsa Andy, yes, I am. And there is quite a few actually that I think a lot of you are going to enjoy. They are car related, they're BMW related, and I think you guys are going to enjoy them. I've obviously documented my travel on my channel up until this point, I guess you could say, but the average viewer hasn't really found them that interesting. I mean, I obviously went to Canada last year, and if you're watching my videos for N47 diesel stuff, you're probably not going to want to watch my Canada travel videos, are you? Which I completely understand. Like, I don't expect you to watch every single one of my videos, but I document them for the people that do want to see them, and it's good for me to look back on them in the future, and it's good to have them in in video formats, so I can look back at them at any time. But yeah, I do have some interest in travel coming this year. So do stay tuned for that. I have a 130i and no driveway. I've been able to replace the starter and a few months later the water pump with your videos, saving massive bills and stress. Great work. Thanks so much. Mark Butler, you're a legend. Yeah, good stuff. Good going, you know, doing all that without a driveway. Yeah, both of those are not, you know, definitely not simple tasks, but they are well achievable if you take your time. You know, you have a good reference guide to go off. And yeah, I'm just glad that my videos could help you out in some way, shape, or form. I have the M Sport suspension on my 330i, and it's great for smooth roads, but going over potholes, it's like I've run through a concrete block. Yeah, it's potholes are the worst things in existence. I went down one a couple of weeks ago now, and it literally felt like my subframe snapped in half. Honestly, like I cannot stand potholes. One way that you can definitely not avoid them or avoid the damage that they cause, but you know, you can kind of help yourself out a little bit, is running a slightly higher profile tire. For example, on a BMW E60 from standard, you'll have on the rear, if you have 19s, you'll have 275 30 19 tires, and on the front you'll have 245 35 19 tires. I went a step up, so I went 245 40 on the front and then 275 35 on the rear. I usually find in most general cases you can go 5 up on the profile, and you will have a little bit of better comfort that way, and your wheels will definitely hold up a lot better too, because yeah, quite a lot of BMW wheels are susceptible to cracking or at least bending. So yeah, a little bit of higher profile definitely helps. Gary Diggins, how's it going? He says hi Gary. Any advice for Naz? I've just answered your question right there. Yep, got you now. As I was saying before the audio went, George, you and the channel deserve an M card. Good comment, Robbie. I would love an M car, and I don't want to give too much away, but I do plan on acquiring one to some capacity in the future. Like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but if I was to acquire an M car to some capacity, which BMW M car would you like to see on the channel? Let me know. Be specific. I want to know every last detail. Are you going to do some videos on the garage build with regards to planning permission? Are you using an architect or are you submitting your own drawings? Yes, I will be doing more videos on the garage build, Andrew. And with regards to the planning permission, I have no idea yet. What I'm sort of thinking is if I go down the route of using a third-party garage company, then hopefully they will have the drawings already, you know, with a set sort of pre-packed garage, and I won't have to then have an architect to draw plans up. That's what I was sort of thinking, but you know, what do I know? I haven't done this before, so yeah, I really don't know yet, if I'm honest. Elliot says, George, mate, how would you get into your E66 now facelift if bonnet cable not working? I can't go through grille on E65 facelift. It's the only way via the arch lining and pulling bumper away. Good question. I'd have to think about that one, Elliot. Ask me again and later on in the stream, and if I've thought about it, then I'll try and answer it then. Can't find any facelift videos to get into the engine, as I need to do my oil soon. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, from before, you're right. I want power and economy. The reason I want another 123D is I've had one before and bought a bad one, so want to get another and keep it for longer. Yeah, I mean, 123Ds are good if a 1 Series platform is what you want. They are pretty much the same as a 120D, albeit the 123D has an extra turbo, so do just bear that in mind. Yeah, I would say go for it. If you get one, obviously do all the preventative maintenance, do all the common problems first. Don't do what a lot of people do and just fix one issue at a time when it occurs, because usually, it ends up costing more. I'd say just tackle all the major big jobs at the beginning, and then you can just enjoy the car for as long as you want it then. PS5 Sport are good. Yes, very good. I haven't actually tried the Michelin Pilot Sport 5s yet, but I hear they are an improvement actually over the 4s. Hi, George. We need you for BMW DIY. Can I throw a question also? What is operating temp for F30, 31, engine temp, engine oil temp, and coolant temp? Which engine, Messer? I could see mine staying at 100 degrees Celsius. Is this normal? Usually for the 3-litre diesels, which I'm going to assume that's what you have, that's 100 degrees is about right. I think they usually typically sit between 100 and 105. The 2-litre diesels, they tend to sit a little bit lower. I think it's around between 87 and 93. And then the petrols, they can massively vary. But yeah, that doesn't sound too far off where it should be. Usually, if you have a bad thermostat, you'll be sticking at sort of 70 or 80 degrees. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I wouldn't worry about your temperature being too low or too high for that matter. Super Soaker says, Seth. No idea what that's about. Thanks. I'll look at Michelin. Yeah, good stuff, Stephen. The Canada videos were awesome. Oh, I appreciate that, Elliot. I appreciate you watch, the other videos on my channel as well. My poor E82's change just started to rattle. Dark days ahead. Ben, get it swapped out. E39 M5, E90 M3, and E61 M5. There's some serious suggestions right there. E36 M3 would be good. There's not much content on them in the UK. It all seems to be in America, which is normally a different engine. Gary, do you know why there's not much content on them? Because half of them are just complete rust buckets. That would be the only thing that sort of keeps me away from, I say an older BMW. They're not that old in the grand scheme of things, but E36 generation, I mean, even the E46, they do rust a lot, and it's like when you have to think of all the potential mechanical issues, then you have to think of all the rust issues as well. It can be a lot. I don't think it's the E36 is one of the favorites for most people. So yeah, I don't know if I can see myself getting an E36. Hi, George. I also have a BMW E46 320D, 150 horsepower with a relatively low number of kilometers. The only problem with it that bothers me is that most of the electrical modules have started to fail. What could that be? What could be the cause? Have you had the recall done for the airbag, steering wheel airbag? And how old is the battery? M47 D20C, please, says Messi. You want to see videos on that? Thanks. Mine is 2-litre diesel. It stays at 100 degrees Celsius. I was afraid of it as it got non-BMW doesn't go 100 degrees mostly. Yeah, don't worry about it. That's absolutely fine. Especially if it sticks at that as well. It's you know, if your car was overheating, it would just continue to rise pretty much. But no, 100 degrees is fine. BMWs do run hot. That's how they're more efficient over the equivalent, you know, other manufacturer. How do you fix E87 Valvetronic motor adaptation? What do you mean? How do you fix it? Would you advise against a high mileage 2014 520D LCI car has had its chain recently done, O2 sensors, head gasket, disc pads, tires around, some other bits and bobs? I can't see why I'd recommend against it, especially if it's had the major jobs done. Can't really think of many reasons why I'd recommend against it. E70 heat only on one side. Any thoughts before I pull all of the interior out? Have you watched my video on, can't actually think what it's called. It's heater blowing cold air or heater not blowing warm air or something along those lines. Just type in car heater blowing cold or car heater blowing not blowing warm air. My video will pop up. Yeah, watch that first. My N47 engine temp seems to stay around 79 to 81. I can do regens via it, but it seems to be doing them itself fine. Should I replace or is this normal? That's low. That's a little bit on the low side, Douglas. It will sort of do a regen because it only needs to get over 75 degrees to do a regen, but I would think about swapping out your thermostat at that point because you'll be getting worse fuel economy with your temperature that low. Would you consider doing Bilstein shocks on your 1 Series or an E90? I've recently purchased the B12 kit, which are B8 shocks and EVAC springs. Do you think new shocks would help the ride? Oh, definitely. If your old ones, if your old shocks are shot, then yeah, for sure. Yes, putting some new ones in will for sure help things. BMW 530 1976, nice car. Okay, I don't know if that was in response to somebody else's question or something I said, but that's just completely gone over my head. Sorry, Michael. I'm buying my first BMW 320D or 120D soon, and I'm so worried about the timing chain. Are they that problematic? Which year? What year are you thinking of buying? Oh damn, we are past 9 o'clock, guys. I may be wrapping things up real soon. Do feel free to fire in some last questions, anything you want to say. If you have found anything I've said today particularly helpful, do consider supporting the channel first and foremost. Give this stream a like, and you can also, if you do wish so, send a super chat or super sticker as well by clicking that $sign down below the live chat. Yeah, I'll just get through some of these last questions. I'll scrub your old vids. Thanks for all you do. No worries. Last year's summer was really hot. I was on a trip to Europe. My oil temp did go up slightly above 100 degrees Celsius. Is that normal? Not genuine coolant. Your oil temp or your coolant temp? That's normal, yeah. Oil runs hotter than your coolant in general. Any ideas on E90 335D? Whirring noise from startup around 2000 RPM. Had new alternator and power steering pump. Being told it could be the turbo. It's hard to say, to be honest, Daryl, without being right there. Have you checked? It's a good point, actually. Have you checked your crankshaft pulley though, to see if there's any splits in it? I must have been very lucky. I've just restored under my M3 Evo, and I found hardly any rust. Couldn't even fill an egg cup. Just treated it with some Lano Guard, and I've heard good reports on it. Yeah, yeah, you must have been very lucky, because most of the E36s that I've seen anyway are very, very rusty. 2A61 DME E87. Zulu, please don't just send fault codes. Like, I'm not. I appreciate all you guys asking questions, but I can't just, I'm not here to just diagnose your car just all day long. Zulu, if you need my help, like in particular, then either join Patreon or send a super chat or super sticker. I can't stand people that just hop on here and think I'm just gonna, sit here helping them fix their car for free. Like, it doesn't work like that. Messer says, do you reckon it's best to use a high mileage oil for N47 D20C 2015, 130k miles, or just stick to? No, personally, I wouldn't use a high mileage oil. I don't really get them. I think if you're trying to, keep if you're trying to prevent leaks by using a thicker oil, for example, just fix the leaks. Like, I don't subscribe to using a high mileage oil. I could be completely wrong, to be fair. It's just not for me. I haven't done a whole lot of research into them. But if it was me, I'd just stick to the regular 5W30 LL04 spec. Do you think new control arms would make a difference to the ride on my 330i? Control arms usually make the steering better, but they don't do a whole lot. Like, they'll make the steering feel tighter, but they won't do a whole lot in terms of like your dampening, if that makes sense. That's all through your your dampers. That's what they're for, the shock absorbers. And also your tires, as I've already mentioned. Yeah, control arms generally make the steering better, make it feel nice and tight, but yeah, they're not going to, make it feel like you're driving on air. The main pulley was changed last year. Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty difficult to say without, being right there and then. Oh, we have some super stickers and super chats. God, guys, use our legends. Hank sends a 199 super sticker. Hank, you're a legend as always. Greatly appreciated. Naz sends £2. Keep up the great work, mate. Naz, appreciated. I appreciate it, and hopefully I've helped you out tonight. And Daryl, again, he has sent £2. Guys, thank you so much, legends. Where did we get to? Oh, that's it. Daryl says, I'll have to drive to UP into 3 garage and nobody has a clue on the noise. Yeah, the thing is with engine noises, it can be quite difficult to diagnose, especially if it sounds like it could potentially be other things. Or a 635 CSI or an 850. I would absolutely love an 850 with the M73 engine. I would love to own one of them one day, but they're just getting silly money now. What year is safe for the N47 diesel engine with time and chain? None. But in 2015/16, it swapped to the B47, but that still has time and chain issues as well. Elliot says, would love to see an M5 F10. To be honest, like, I'm going to be completely honest, the F10s don't really do it for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because they just look too big, too bulky, too square, or what, but I've always been a much bigger fan of the E60. I think it looks better. I think it's going to age better. And yeah, the E60 does it for me, but the F10, I'm not that big of a fan of. I'm sure like the performance of it is just next level. It's going to be a lot faster than the E60, but yeah, it's not for me, unfortunately. 116i F20 would be a great car to play with. I mean, depends what you mean by playing with. I'm sure like you can probably drive that, you know, you can use all of the power all of the time in that car, but you're not going to be going anywhere anytime quick, are you? Thinking about buying an E92 apart from rod bearings, what else should you look for? Gary, the S65, the V8 in the M3 pretty much has the same engine as the S85, the V10 in the M5, just minus 2 cylinders. So they pretty much share all the same common issues. So of course, rod bearings, you got the high pressure Vanos line. What else? You got throttle actuators. So there's 2 of those. The gears in them like to go walkabouts. What else? I was trying to think of the major issues. Can't think off the top of my head. But yeah, if you just look up S85 or S65 common problems, they're very, like I said, they're very, very similar engines, and yeah, they require a good amount of maintenance, regular oil changes, and the correct oil as well. Those engines both take a 10W60. People will just use like 5W30, 5W40. You can't use that in those engines. They need the thicker oil when it's hot, because their tolerances are so tight, as you'd probably expect from a race engine. Okay, regarding the high mileage, when looking at the car, what should I look out for? I mean, if you're just talking about general car buying advice, I would focus on the bodywork. When it comes to mechanical jobs, anything can be, you know, fixed, so to speak. Some things, of course, may not be cheap, but I would focus on the bodywork. Have a look. Has it had paint before? Has it been in an accident? Because in my opinion, like, bodywork can end up costing a hell of a lot more than, you know, say fixing, you know, replacing a timing chain or whatever. So yeah, I'd say look at bodywork, and yeah, obviously do a full check. Make sure it hasn't been in an accident before. Make sure it doesn't have outstanding finance and things like that. And yeah, have a look at the service history. Ask the owner, has it had any issues? Have they, you know, had to replace any parts on it and things like that? You know, you can kind of get a gauge how well a previous owner has looked after the car by, you know, how they answer some of those questions. If you do another live stream, I'll keep you updated on the suspension, as I'll be fitting it in the coming weeks, going from stock M Sport suspension to Bilstein B12. Yes, Naz, please do. I'll be interested to see how you get on. What makes me sway away from turbo is that it still drives real well and no changes in performance. Yeah, it's the thing is, if you have a turbo that's on its way out, it can still drive fine. I would recommend removing the intake pipe and actually checking the shaft in the turbo for play. I've unfortunately experienced a turbo failure in the past month or so, and it wasn't fun. So yeah, I would just check the turbo, see if there's any play in it, and then of course then you'll know for sure whether the turbo is bad. What make of oil do you recommend for BMW? Last oil I used was liquid moly from Autodoc, but a bit pricey. Stephen, honestly, I don't really recommend like an oil brand. That's maybe because I'm not sponsored by one. But no, seriously, I don't recommend any particular oil brand. All I say to people is use the oil that's recommended. When I say the oil that's recommended, I mean the grade and the spec. So a lot of BMWs, I mean, which you haven't said which engine you have, but most BMWs are 5W30, LL01 or LL04. Older cars are like LL98, I think, but they're pretty much all 5W30. And yeah, you're going to be fine. Doesn't really matter on the brand. There's not a whole lot of difference. The biggest thing, in my opinion, is change it more frequent than BMW recommend. For the most part, cut your intervals in half. When it comes to a lot of the newer stuff, where they recommend oil changes every 18 to 20,000 miles, cut that like, into 3. I would say change your oil every 5 to 6,000 miles, and you'll be golden. Yeah, I would prefer you to change your oil more frequent, but use a cheaper oil than use a more expensive oil and then not swap it out for 20,000 miles. But of course, you are free to do as you wish. All talk, how's it going? Hi George, only just got back in and come online, so just joining this a touch late, I would guess. Hope you are well. All talk, yes, I'm good. We've had a bit of drama tonight. I started the live initially at like 8 o'clock, and then I was going through comments, and then I finally got to a comment saying no sound. So I've been talking to myself for 5 minutes straight, couldn't fix the sound, and then I had to restart the live. So yeah, it's been a bit of a nightmare, but we're back on here now. You can see we have 40 people in here, and that's another time to remind you guys, if you have not already done so, please do hit that like button. Greatly appreciated. 42 of you in here right now. Let's see how many likes we're actually on. If I can do that. Can I do that? I'm sure I can. There's got to be a way how to do that. But yeah, if you all have not already done so, do hit that like button, and we'll see what we can end the stream on. I am not the best at doing this, am I? Okay. 39 likes, and we have 40 of you in here. That should be at least 40 likes. Way 40 likes. Let's see if we can end this stream on 50 likes. I will be signing off in around 5 minutes or so, being going for about an hour and 20 now. It will be my bedtime before long, I'm sure. Got a very busy day tomorrow. Got a couple of videos to film and a hell of a lot of videos to edit. Like I said, I've got, I think, 7 or 8 still ready to edit, which I'll roll out over the next week or two. Where are we? Okay. Hank, when buying a car, first plug Carly like scanner in and read error codes. Yeah, very good point. I actually forgot to say that. I always take Ista with me when it comes to buying a BMW. That will tell you a hell of a lot about the car. It'll tell you probably how the previous owner has treated it as well. I remember when I when I went to pick up my 760 Ally, plugged in ISTA, and I think there was something like 75 fault codes. And I was like, come on, I was expecting maybe like 10, 15 fault codes because it's a BMW 7 Series, but not 75 fault codes. True story, that is, by the way. It was the cheapest BMW. It was the cheapest V12. It was the cheapest V12 car in the world when I bought that car. Definitely not now. I definitely won't be selling it for a cheap price when it comes to selling it, but it was the cheapest, and I've spent so much money on it, kind of restoring it. But yeah, it's it's been a fun one, hasn't it? But yes, for sure, take a scanner with you, even if it's a cheap basic one that will give you some generic fault codes. You can Google them on the spot if you need to. Loads of problems with diesel. Go for petrol engine. Potentially, Stephen, but some petrol engines can actually be more problematic than the diesel variant. So you have to really do your research. Like, for example, if you're talking about in the BMW 1 Series, the E80 generation, there's only one or two petrol engines that I'd recommend. That's the N52 or N53. I wouldn't really recommend the N53, to be honest. I'd only really recommend the N52. But the other petrol engines, so you got the N42, N43, N45, N46, I wouldn't recommend any of them. So yeah, I'd only recommend the diesel variants, N47, M47. So yeah, you can't just give a blanket term and say stay away from diesel, go for petrol. I've got Bilstein V12 is on my M3 Evo. Can't fault them. Brilliant upgrade. Got them from Autodot. I think they were with Spring, £700. Decent price. Have you tried getting into an E90 with a 330D inside? It doesn't help with it being twin turbo. I did see your turbo video. Yeah, I can't imagine a turbo replacement on that would be fun either. How's about a 2002 Tii? I would love to do a 2000 or 1600. That would be the dream, but you just can't find them for a cheap enough attainable price. They're either all been fully restored, or it's just a pile of dust on the floor which somebody wants 20 grand for. Gary, I think we got the same deal. Spent around 670 on order. How has the okay? You're asking the question for Gary. Can you mix 5W30 LL04 and 5W30 non-LL04, like 70/30 respectively? I mean, you can. Would I recommend it? Probably not. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you'll probably be fine, but I'm not going to recommend it. Rhonda says, could a bad ground strap cause battery to drain? And would a bad IBS cause battery to not register? Yes, very possibly on both of those points, Rhonda. Is E90 316 considered a reliable car in your opinion? 316D or 316i? I'm guessing you mean I. If it's an I, then I would say no. Absolute nightmare. Although sometimes I find myself talking to myself results in me getting a lot more sensible conversation. Yes, you do have to talk to yourself from time to time. What a job. Good stream. Thanks, Elliot. I think my V12 S600 bi-turbo motor was cheap. Yes, I believe you may be right on that. I think I paid 2,400 for my 760. Let's just say mine was the cheapest at the time. I'm not going to claim it was the cheapest in existence ever, because I'm sure in 1962 you could probably buy one for a couple of £100, but that was a lot of money back then. So yeah, mine was the cheapest at the time. But yeah, you definitely got a good deal on that for sure. Have you thought about purchasing a crash damaged BMW and logging the process? I appreciate that this needs a significant amount of time invested. You know what, Lee? I have. What seems to do very well on YouTube is crash repair series. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I guess people just see it satisfying, seeing something that is completely smashed up to then something that is nice and shiny and new looking. But when it comes to using a service or a company like Copart, it doesn't really make financial sense to buy a smashed up car. I've seen cars that are actually more expensive in a smashed up state than you could buy for, running, driving, and looking absolutely fine on Facebook or Gumtree. I don't know what it is. I don't know how that's the case, but when you crunch the numbers, it really, in most cases, it just doesn't make sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to have to buy a cheap car, smash it up, and then say I just bought it as salvage. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of other YouTubers do. I'm pretty sure people just buy a car, take the bumpers off it and say, oh, it's smashed up salvage car, and then they just put the bumpers back on. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think that's definitely what some people do. Naz and Gary just talking back and forth. George, I need to change the clutch on my R56, subframe out or engine and box out on the drive. Great car when they are running okay. Good question, Dazzler. Do you need to do any engine jobs that you can think of? Because I think I'd be inclined to say take the engine and gearbox off, unless you need to refurbish your subframe, and then I'd say take the subframe out. But if you take your engine and gearbox out, then you can obviously do any engine jobs that you need to do, refresh pulleys, things like that, nice and easy. But then again, like I said, if you need to do your subframe, then possibly take the subframe off. Would you say 2005 Toyota Celica, I was going to say Celica, would be a good car in early 20s? Sure, why not? It's not a BMW, but I'm sure it's a great car. 2,200, yeah, you definitely got a good deal on that. Is CCCR driving Mustang E90? Or can you live with that? I wouldn't say CCC. I'd say, if you can, CIC, but that only came out in 2009. Technically late 2008, but good luck finding it in a 2008 car. Yeah, CCC isn't the best, if I'm honest. But I would prefer to have iDrive than not have it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, guys, we really need to wrap things up. I know it says we've only been going for 50 minutes now, but the past live stream I did, I think that was best part of 50 minutes as well, wasn't it? Got to be something like that. So I'm just going to wrap the final few questions. Before I do go, though, like I said, last couple things to mention. Give this live stream a big thumbs up. Give it a like if you have not already done so. We're on 49 likes. So can we end it on 50? So we are not far away from doing that. If you want to share any additional support to the channel, there is a $sign button below the live chat. So feel free to click that, send a small donation. by way of a super chat or super sticker. Anything you send is greatly appreciated, but don't feel pressured to do so. I'd just like to give the option there for people that ask. And like I said, I'm just going to get through these last few questions before I wrap things up. How about an F20, which is more reliable? Petrol 1.6 or diesel 1.5? I would say the diesel 1.5, but it definitely does come with its issues, and the engine is not the smoothest. With it being a 3-cylinder, for whatever it's not that smooth. It's just a lot of vibrations, a lot of rattles, things like that. So yeah, I probably wouldn't say either of those engines, but out of the two, I'd say the diesel. Definitely can't live without it now, especially with the cameras in the UK checking if you're using your phone. Oh, because you said you have the Android head unit. Yeah, fair enough. It can be hard with Copilot, but there are some gems there. I've bought a fair few over the years, and you can make some good money on them. But you have to be trawling all the time and bidding. Yeah, exactly that. It works out better, I guess, if you're a car dealer. I can't see myself getting lucky just going on there one day and going, oh, I'll have that for my next car. Hey, George, do you still own the 05 E87? Yes, I do, Mr. Star. Don't plan on ever selling that car. The advantage with crash rebuilds is that they provide a chronological series for the viewer where they can see mental improvement episode by episode. It feels more like a TV show, I think. Yeah, I agree with that respect. All talk. Naz Badat, I may be purchasing an E92 320D with 190k kilometers. Tried the car, seems fine without time and chain rattle, but my red flag was the hard turning steering wheel. Nick, in regards to the E90 generation of BMWs, at low speeds, you will find the steering is quite heavy if you have hydraulic power steering. It's the exact same in my BMW E87 1 Series. It's something that I wouldn't say concerned about, but it's something that I was kind of thinking, oh, this is a bit strange how it's so heavy, but I actually prefer it now. It actually helps you have a bit more precise, steering. I'm not a massive fan of electric power steering in general anyway, but yeah, it's completely normal to have heavy steering at low speeds on the E90, so don't worry about it. Alternatively, a restore video would be cool, but probably something early 2000s, as I think that would have a wider appeal audience-wise. E30, E46 M3, for example. Yeah, I would love to do that, but it just wouldn't make sense. Like, I wouldn't be able to buy one at a good enough price, and then to have a whole video, it just wouldn't get the views to make sense. Like, I've been doing a full engine rebuild on a Mini Cooper S. Spend like maybe in one video end up spending like £1,000, and then you get 3,000 views. It's like it just doesn't make financial sense. If you can guarantee you're going to get hundreds of thousand views or a million views or whatever, then yeah, sure. But I just don't have the budget to buy a new car and just restore it all in one video. Maybe in the future though. Yeah, exactly what I was saying. Yeah, it is naturally heavy. Good seeing you, George. Cheers. And you, Hank. Yeah, definitely do the power steering fluid flush. I have a video on my channel how to do a full power steering fluid flush. Is the BMW F10 520D time and chain last long? Generally, if they are going to snap, they will snap somewhere between 100 and 150,000 miles. Okay. Regarding the crash damage videos, maybe a non-runner with numerous problems. These types of videos gives us home mechanics so many hints and tips. Lee, I've already done that. Like I bought the Mini Cooper S. That was a non-runner, and I've just rebuilt the whole engine on it. But again, like I said, people don't seem to be that interested in the in-depth rebuild. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I've done that a good few times now. The E46, to be fair, quite a few people are interested in that. I bought that as a non-runner with the fueling issue, which I'll have an update actually, hopefully later this week on. Last few questions then. I have a brand new Nissan Leaf that I'm selling. I miss sudden problems and real engine noise. I had an E90 320D that I regret selling so bad. Oh, Nissan Leaf. Loving the live streams, George. You are a book of BMW knowledge. Thank you for the great bits and advice over the years. No worries, Lee. Glad to help out wherever I can. An E46 always gives views, doesn't have to be an M3, maybe a 330 CI, 330 Club Sport, or even an M Sport 320i, 325i manual. Yeah, good point. Quite cheap. Hi from Sask, Canada. How's it going, MSI Razor? I like the in-depth mini rebuild just in case I have to rebuild mine someday. Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to be there forever for anyone that wants to follow along and do theirs. It's a fine line between technical information and entertainment. It has to be more entertainment if you want views. I think a bit of banter and a regular series that people can come back to. Yeah, I think I definitely need to possibly increase my entertainment value somewhat. My videos have been very technical, very to the point, and for the most part how-tos. And to be honest, I have had good success doing that. But I think, yeah, if you want to get high views on a frequent basis, I think you've got to start laughing at the camera, it seems. Quite a lot, but yeah, I completely agree. I've got to try and I don't know what it is. I don't know if I need to show a bit more enthusiasm, or if I need to start jumping around the screen a bit more, or yeah, I don't know what it is. Or maybe I just need to act as if I don't know what I'm doing and then just mess up, and yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Hi George, on my E91 M47 motor, number of motor turned, a little drops when I hit end of steering wheel and when I leave clutch. I think I understand your question. The revs drop when you hit the end of the steering rack. That's normal. You just basically put in the power steering pump on. You're basically pushing it on its limit, and when you're dipping the clutch, that could potentially be an issue, but it's hard to say. Hi, DPF solution versus MOT. Do I take the plunge? To be honest, like if it's done well, then you shouldn't really fail an MOT with a DPF solution. A fair few of Matt Armstrong's cars have been relatively expensive. There would be no money made on them if not for the YouTube revenue. I think with Matt, in his case, I obviously do watch him on a somewhat frequent basis. I tend to pop in and see what he's up to. But I'm sure for the most part he raffle them off, which I think he would be making a big profit on. And then I think it's not just the ad revenue. Pretty much every video is sponsored. So, say if he buys a car for, obviously I don't know specific numbers, but say if he buys a car for £20,000, let's say that he spends, I don't know, £10,000 on it. Most of the parts could be given to him for free. I don't know, but that's £30,000. If he makes 6 videos from them, each video now is probably going to get 1 million views. That's probably going to be £4,000 to £5,000 each video. That's his £30,000 just from ad revenue. And then he'll sell the car. That'll probably sell for £50,000 from the tickets. So that's £80,000 from the £30,000 investment. And then sponsors as well. Every video that's getting 1 million views, you're gonna be expecting anywhere from £5,000 to £10,000 from a sponsor. So you're looking at about 60 plus 80. That's about £140,000 from just a £30,000 investment. So yeah, someone like that will be making a lot of money on their cars. Obviously, I'm not doing anywhere near those sorts of figures. So yeah, some people will be able to justify buying these expensive cars and doing these builds, but I can't. I don't have that money. I can't do that yet. George needs sleep too, guys. Yes, exactly that. I am pretty tired. So right, I'm gonna go through all the questions on screen now. So I'm gonna end with MSI Razor. I'm gonna end with All Talk, and I'll go through all of them until this point. But yeah, we are gonna wrap things up. Hi George, you didn't answer me which is best diesel engine, N47 or M47. I've got a bunch of videos on my channel like explaining the differences between the both, going over the common problems of each. Just watch them and then make up your own minds. It really depends what you want. If you want economy and a bit more power, N47. If you want a simpler engine with potentially less problems, go M47. Well, I like you as you are, George. Just throwing some thoughts about. I haven't made a video in 5 minutes as I've had 2 family members who are seriously ill. Sorry to hear about that, by the way, mate. You put far more effort in than I. But I guess I can because it is my full-time thing. So it's just one of those things, I guess. You deserve more views and subscribers. Again, I appreciate that. I don't know much about BMW diesel engine. I want to buy E60, which is good. M47 or M. I've just answered that one. Even if your beard is on the short side, maybe I'll grow it out one day. Maybe. Thanks, says Michael. No worries. He does exactly that. His girlfriend has a comp company. My point was more about the investment cost. If you top the parts cost plus the co-part original buy, then there's no money. I don't know if that's in response to the figures that I just totted up, but yeah, it wouldn't work out for me at the moment. Blue Terrier says hello. Loving the Martin Wagon photo there, Blue Terrier. But it drags in views, audience, and leads to all of the sponsorship and other secondary revenue that the channel pulls. Milan Mastraki has a good YouTube channel. He gets technical, but throws in some daily live vids as well. 376k subs. Yeah, I don't know if did he stop uploading for a while? I think because he obviously done quite a bit on the Mini Cooper S as well. That's how I found some of his videos. But yeah, I think didn't he stop uploading for a while? Take the risk, George. Crash Damage series, complete it in 6 to 8 episodes, and move on to the next one. You know what? We're gonna do it at some point. We're gonna do it at some point this year as well, for sure. I think what I'll probably do is because I'm still doing the trading up to my dream supercar series. I think we'll probably wait till we are a little bit higher up. Obviously, I have the E46 at the moment. I need to try and sell that for a tiny, tiny profit. And then maybe once we get to like the 2 to 3 grand car budget, that's when we'll possibly buy a crash damage car and see how that goes. Right, I said I'm going to stop on them comments, but let's just fly through these. Have a nice rest, mate. Thanks, Darko. Did you fix your all-alternating housing gasket on the 760? Yes, I did. Jingyuan Yang, the video is on my channel. Michael says, hi, George. I think the map behind you is a bit left-hand down, and the wife is moaning because she wants to... Oh, no, never watched Corrie. Oh, wait, you're watching Corrie. Okay, fair enough. Zeno says, God bless you, bro. Good night, sweet dreams. And to you, Zeno. More adventures like Nürburgring, etc. Love that. Yes, for sure. Have some good trips planned this year. Yep, good night, George and others. And yes, that is to all of you out there. Thank you all for joining on this live and the previous live tonight. I know it's been a bit of a it hasn't gone to plan, we shall say. We started this stream at about 8 p.m. and it's ended up in 2 different segments. If you didn't watch the previous live stream, you've only just jumped on this one, go and watch that, because that'll basically explain things. I basically went into where I've been for the past 5 or 6 weeks. Obviously, I've been uploading, but it's been a bit sporadic, and yeah, I took some time away. So go and check the previous live stream, which I don't actually know if it's going to be live on the channel yet. But feel free to try and find it. Watch the first 20 minutes of that also, and yeah, we'll go from there. But yeah, hopefully you all have enjoyed it. Anyway, please remember to give this live stream a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you have not already done so, and new video will be coming on Wednesday at the usual time, 6 p.m. UK GMT. Yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.